Good morning, everyone. Alright, so first off, I want to say congratulations. Like, genuinely, congratulations. Take that in for a second, graduates, because you all earned this. You know, what I remember sitting where you are sitting right now, I remember being excited, I was a little nervous. Honestly, I was a little bit scared, and I was unsure exactly how everything was going to look on the other side of today. But I knew it was up to me and that it would all work out. And it did work out. So I came back to tell you exactly how. But before I tell you what I've learned, let me show you what happened when I decided to move anyway. Despite the fear, despite the nervousness, despite uncertainty. So Black women earn less than 1% of all engineering degrees awarded in this country. Less than 1%. I have 2 of those degrees, and I'm finishing my 3rd. And of the entire United States Army, officers, enlisted, everybody, less than 1% are Black women who hold an officer rank. Well, I stand before you today as a first lieutenant. And then lastly, 78% of solo business owners in America make less than $50,000 a year. I built a 6-figure firm. So now, I'm not telling you that to impress you. I'm telling you that because every single one of those statistics were true before I started. The numbers were already stacked against me, but I decided anyways. And I started right here with the exact feelings similar to what you all have today. Before I walked out of this campus for the last time as a student, I stood at the podium as a valedictorian, and I closed my speech with 2 quotes from Dr. Mae Jemison, the first Black female astronaut. She said, and I quote it, when she said, "Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations." And she also said, and I quote it, "It's your place in the world, it's your life, go on and do all you can with it, and make it the life you want to live." I had no idea at the time what those words were about to cost me or what it was about to build. Because the moment that I said them out loud, I then had to go live them. And everything I just showed you, that's exactly what living them looked like. So I'm telling you, so I'm here today not just to inspire you, because inspiration without a framework is just feelings, and feelings fade. I want to give you 3 lessons, the 3 lessons that built everything that I just described, and a golden ticket. So at the end, that I have never offered to anybody publicly before. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first lesson, decisions and choices are not the same thing, and that distinction will change your life. So here's something that nobody told me when I was sitting where you all are today. Most people use the words decisions and choice like they mean the same thing, but they don't. A choice is something that you make in the moment. Do I take this road or do I take that one? Do I respond or do I let it go? Do I show up or do I stay at home? Choices happen in real time, every single day. But a decision is different. A decision is a commitment that you make in advance that eliminates future choices. So when you truly decide something, and I mean really decide, you're not negotiating with yourself every morning. So the decision has already made the choice for you. And here's what making a decision does for your choices. It filters them. So once you decide who you are and where you're going, every choice that comes up gets run through that decisions automatically. So should I go to this party or should I keep studying? Well, who did you decide you want to be? Should I respond to that negativity or keep moving? Well, what did you decide your life was about? The decision becomes the filter for every choice that follows. And here's the things about the decisions though, and I need you to hear me when I say this. You don't need 100% of the information in order to make one. If I waited until everything was perfectly clear, I would still be waiting. 80% is enough to move, because the moment that you start moving, the path gets clearer. You cannot see the whole world from where you're standing right now. You just need to see enough to take the next step. So when I was sitting where you all are sitting right now, where you are right now, I decided that I was going to be more and do more with my life. I didn't know exactly what that looked like, and I couldn't quite draw the path, but I decided. And from that moment, every choice that I made was just me executing on something that I already had committed to. So before you leave here today, I want y'all to decide. Not, I'll think about it or I'll see how things go. Like, truly decide. Because if you don't decide who you're going to be, somebody else will. And you might not like what they choose. Now, I need you all to turn to your neighbor and say this out loud. Make the decision. All right. So lesson 2. Your decisions are only as good as the data feeding them. So watch what you let in. So y'all, I'm an engineer, so I think in systems, so bear with me for a second. But every decision that you make runs on data. So what you see, what you hear, what you believe to be true about yourself in the world, that's your data set. And your data set then determines your decisions. So your decisions then determine your reality, so it's a full loop. So if the data going in your mind says people from where you are don't make it, that becomes your filter. And that shapes your decisions. And those decisions shape everything downstream. So that's why you have to be extremely intentional about what you let in, what you watch, who you listen to, who you spending time around, and what you rehearse in your own head about who you are and what's possible for you. Because all of that is feeding the system that produces your decisions. Now, I want y'all to lean in for a bit because here's what changed everything for me personally. There are 2 completely different data sets that you can operate from. One is being the world's data, so the news, the statistics, the percentages that tell you that people like you typically do or don't do. And sometimes that data is necessary because you need to understand the landscape, but data alone will never be enough to get you where you're going because there's another data set. And for me, that second data set is the gospel of Jesus Christ. So Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And that's not just a feeling, that's another framework. It's an operating system for making decisions when the numbers don't add up, when the path isn't clear, and when the statistics say it can't be done. So once you run your decisions through truth, when your foundation is something bigger than your current circumstances, you then unlock a completely different level of clarity and a different level of courage. You start making decisions that the world's data alone would never let you make. And I'm a living example of that. Every stat that I read to you was true before I started, and I still decided anyways, because I was operating from a completely different data set. So filter carefully, because what you let in becomes your basis for everything that you build. So now, turn to a different neighbor and say, feed the decision. All right? And so last lesson I learned. When you decide, the right people appear. Okay, so y'all know that game when you hit somebody every time you see a yellow car or punch buggy, something like that? And so once you start playing, suddenly you see the yellow cars everywhere. But the yellow cars were always there, you just wasn't necessarily looking for them. And that's exactly what happens when you make a real decision about who you want to be. When I decided to be an engineer, engineers started showing up. When I decided to build a business, entrepreneurs then appeared. And when I decided to serve this country, other women in uniform found me. Let me give you the receipts though. So I told you all earlier, Black women learn less than 1% of engineering degrees. That's the stat. But I have a friend, Dr. Kenya, who has a doctorate in computer science. And she was already out there. I just had to decide first, then I was able to see her. And I told you all 78% of solo business owners make less than $50,000 a year. That's the stat. But I have a mentor, Dr. Tracy Lamb, who built her business from nothing and sold it for $100 million. She was already out there. I just had to decide, and then she appeared into my world. And then lastly, again, less than 1% of an entire army are Black women officers. That's the stat. But I have a friend, Captain Wells, a Black woman, an officer, who was already out there. Again, I just had to decide, and I could see her. So here's what I need you to hear. I didn't see any of these women before I started. I didn't find them, then decide. I decided, then they appeared. So when you make a real decision, your eyes are open to the people who are already living it. So your network shifts, your conversations change, and your whole world reorganizes around the commitment that you made. But now, I will be remiss not to tell you this next part. You can make all the right decisions, feed your mind all the right data, and have all the right people around you, and things will still not go the way that you planned. The timeline will be different than what you originally anticipated. The path will curve somewhere that you didn't anticipate. And there will always be factors that you just simply can't control. And that's not failure though. That's just called life. And that gap between what you decided and how it all actually unfolds, that's the gap where faith lives. Because faith is not the absence of a plan. So yeah, plan your steps, get specific, get clear on who you want to be in the next 10 years, but leave room for faith in that plan. Because faith is what carries you across that gap when your decision for your gifts, your decisions, and your reality. So now, last time, turn to your neighbor and say, trust the decision. All right, so I want you all to look around and really find your people, graduates, like really thank them because they made decisions for you when you couldn't make them yourself. They really helped carry you to this moment, and that matters. But today, that chapter closes and a new one opens, and this new chapter is authored by you all. So from this point forward, who you become is your decision. How you show up is your decision. Whether you nurture the relationships in these stands or let them fade, that's your decision. Whether you go after the thing that feels impossible or settle for what feels safe, that's yours. You're the author now. So before I sit down, one more time, I need you to turn your neighbor one last time and remind them of everything we just covered. So tell them, make the decision, feed the decision, and then trust the decision. And that's the framework. So you all just said it out loud, so now it's in you. So a few mornings ago, actually, in my quiet time, I was in a word and I was in John 1:46. When Philip told Nathanael they found the Messiah from Nazareth. And Nathanael was like, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Does that sound familiar? How about nobody makes it out of East St. Louis? Or nothing good comes from that city? Maybe you've heard that. Maybe somebody said it to you. Maybe you even said it yourself. But Nazareth raised Jesus Christ, who didn't just change the world, he saved it. So don't ever, ever let anybody write off where you come from. Because where you're from is not your limitation. It's your origin story. And origin stories don't disqualify you. They fuel you. So the next time somebody questions what good can come out of East St. Louis, your answer is simple. Come check it out. Let's see. So, last thing I said I had a golden ticket for y'all. And I never offered this public before, but here it is. So graduates, once you make your decision, I really want y'all to reach out to me. Like, seriously. Information's on the program. Find me via Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Lake Mitchell. And here's what I do. So if it's something that I've personally done, so from engineering, business, military, real estate, any of it, I give you direct advice from somebody who's actually lived it. And if it's something that I haven't done, but I know somebody who has, I will make the direct connection for you. So not a referral, not a go follow this person, I will directly connect you with somebody already living the thing that you decided. But I have one requirement. When you reach out, I need you to run your decision through the 3 lessons. So telling me, 1, is this a real decision or is it just a choice that you're entertaining? Have you already actually committed or are you still negotiating with yourself? 2, what data are you feeding that decision? Is it truth? Is it fear? Is it what somebody else told you was possible for you? What's that filter? And then lastly, tell me who's already living it. Have you started looking? Because the moment you decide, they start appearing. So if you can answer those 3 questions, I know you're serious, and serious people will deserve serious support. So that's my offer, so take it. But class of 2026, congratulations. Your decisions built this moment. Now go build something that lasts. Thank you.